Hey everyone, it's Tori and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. For today's video, I'm sharing my August 2021 bullet journal plan with me. As always, I'm starting out this plan with me with a flip through of last month, and for July I did this fun and bright beachy theme, and if you missed this plan with me, you can click the link in the cards or down below to check it out. I also included some travel spreads for July because I went on a 10-day vacation in July to California, and you can also check out this video in the cards and down below if you are interested. And if you want to see a close-up of any of these spreads, please check out my Instagram at Creative Minds Coffee Grinds, where I post every single one of my bullet journal spreads before the pen, and also these ones after the pen. I'm flipping back to my planning page for August, and this month's theme is back to school because actually when I was on vacation, I got a call that I was offered a kindergarten job for the upcoming school year. So since I'm so excited to be a first year teacher this year and it's back to school season, I thought this theme would be perfect for this month. As always, all of my supplies in this video will be linked down below if you're interested in them. I used a variety of Crayola Super Tips from the 50 pack and also a couple of microns, as well as a circle ruler and a couple tombows, so all of that will be linked down below if you want to see. And also, this bullet journal is from Archer and Olive, and although this particular journal cover is retired, you can check out so many other amazing stationery at archerandolive.com, and you can also use my affiliate code CMCG10 for 10% off your order. But getting into this cover page now, you can see that I'm starting out with this drawing of this bus, and I got this idea from a post on Pinterest that I will have on the screen right here. I just loved how quirky the bus looked, and I thought it had a lot of character, so I knew I wanted it to be front and center on this page. I'm just drawing it with my 02 micron fine liner, and I used my stencil, my circle stencil from Amazon that I use all the time to help me out with the headlights and steering wheel and all that fun stuff that I could not draw freehand. For the license plate, I decided to write the year 2021, and then I started coloring the bus with this bright yellow, which I thought really popped off the page. And I know I also used yellow last month in July for my beach theme, but I just can't get away from yellow apparently. So I was going to use a more darker yellow school bus color, but since my color palette already had so many colors involved, I just kept this one yellow in the mix, and I'm really glad that I did. Next, I'm using a couple gray Crayola Super Tips for things like the bumper, side mirrors, and tires, but I end up actually coloring in the tires black later on, so there's more of a contrast. And then I use the red for some of the smaller lights and the lighter blue for the windows and headlights. So as you can see here, I had a darker blue in my color palette on the side here too, but I decided to just keep using the lighter blue to, again, avoid using too many colors in an already colorful palette. And I'm really glad I made that decision as well. So all in all, I have about, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 Crayola Super Tips. And they're all labeled. I don't know if you can tell, they all have little numbers on them. I'm pretty sure I labeled them in my entire stationery collection swatch video, so I will have that linked in the cards and down below if you want to check that out. So I decided to keep this calligraphy in real time for you to see how slow I actually write, because I speed up a lot of these videos and it just kind of gets a little bit confusing and you might think that I'm writing a lot faster than I am, but nope, I'm super slow at writing. And I like the idea of having August across the windows of the school bus like my inspiration picture, but I ended up not mapping out the letters correctly, so they're not centered, and as an extreme perfectionist that bothered me a ton, so I end up fixing it after I do my quote page, which you will see right now. I haven't done a quote page in a very hot minute, and when I was looking for inspiration for this bullet journal theme, I found this definition for teacher, so I wrote out the word teacher in calligraphy with my Crayola Super Tip and put an N in parentheses to show that it's a noun, and then underneath I wrote the quote, "A multitasking educational rock star who lives to inspire and loves to encourage. They're kind of a big deal." After that, I drew some crayons at various lengths around the quote, and being from Connecticut, I get told often by my Massachusetts friends that I say crayons weird, so leave me a comment telling me how you say the word crayons. Is it like me, or do you say crayons, like with 2 syllables? Or I've also heard it pronounced as crowns before. Please let me know how you say it, I'm really curious. Anyway, I'm going in with my Crayola Super Tips in red, orange, yellow, green, that light blue, and purple to color in the border, and that is pretty much this page done. As promised, here's me showing you how I decided to fix that uncentered text. So I just took a page from my Archer and Olive notepad and rewrote the calligraphy with these bold lines across the top and bottom to match the quote page on the other side. And I just used my tombow tape runner to paste it down on top of my mistake, and voila! And as I mentioned earlier, I'm just taking my black Crayola Super Tip and coloring in the tires for more of a contrast between the grays, and that is my cover page and quote page finished. Getting into my habit tracker for this month, I used the same Crayola Super Tip calligraphy for the header, and then I started making my habit grids. So I decided to go with a layout of the calendar this month instead of doing like 10 across like I usually do, and it's mainly because I wanted these habit grids to look like they were on things like sticky notes, notepads, and pinned on the wall. This also means I get to track 9 habits this month instead of 8, so in addition to all the habits I've been tracking for what seems like forever, I ended up including lesson planning as my last one just to make sure I'm staying on top of both my new job and my capstone, which is in curriculum and instruction, so lots of lesson planning going on here. So I'm just outlining all my habit grids in different shapes to emulate notepads, sticky notes, and a calendar pinned on the wall, and then I start coloring in the notepads using blue horizontal lines and a red vertical line to look like your stereotypical notebook. Then I start on my sticky notes, which I just color in this bright yellow to look like your stereotypical sticky notes. And to finish it off, I use the rest of the markers that I haven't used yet on this spread, like orange, green, and purple, to just color in the titles of the extra habits. Moving on to my anxiety tracker this month, I wanted to make this Crayola crayon box of 31 crayons. So I wanted to make the header of the Crayola logo font on the box instead of the calligraphy I've been doing on the other spreads. So even though my anxiety tracker lettering doesn't match the rest of my spreads in that sense like I normally like it to, I think it still looks really cool. Like I said, I wanted this tracker to look like a Crayola crayon box, so I referenced several images of Crayola crayon boxes, and they all had this green line pattern on either side, and the rest was colored in yellow. So for the anxiety lettering, I colored in the letters themselves green like the Crayola logo on the box, but I actually left the outline white for more of a pop rather than coloring in it yellow like the actual Crayola lettering. You might be wondering what these little ovals I'm drawing on the crayons are, and I just kind of thought they looked like labels, but I didn't want to actually write the colors because I'd be coloring in the crayons based on my anxiety each day. So I just did these ovals with little hash marks to kind of emulate the labels if you were wondering. So I'm just coloring the rest of the box yellow and adding in the numbers on the crayons to represent each day of the month. And then the circles at the bottom of the box are my anxiety tracker's keys, so this month purple will be for no anxiety, blue will be for a little anxiety, orange will be for a lot of anxiety, and red will be for if I have a panic attack. We are getting into my expenses log now, and it's going to look the exact same as every month I've done since April. So for those of you who are new here, the top left box is for my incoming money, so my paychecks and all that kind of stuff. The right side long box is for my outgoing money, and as you can see, it's significantly longer than my incoming money because I buy a lot of things. And the small box at the bottom left is for things I need to buy that I don't typically buy every month. So that wouldn't be for things like gas or food. It'd be things like I need to buy this type of pens, or I don't know, this gift for somebody whose birthday is in August, that kind of stuff. So the incoming money sections from left to right are date, amount, and description. And the outgoing money sections from the left to right are amount, whether I used cash or a credit or debit card in the middle, and description as well at the end. The blue and yellow at the bottom of incoming and outgoing is to write my total of money incoming and outgoing each month. And then I just finished off this spread with this cute little apple on the side of my to buy box. And with this spread done, we are now getting into my gratitude log. Again, my gratitude log has been the exact same since April, and I say it all the time, but I got this gratitude log idea from Tracy Tyler Revel here on YouTube. And I write one word each day about something I'm grateful for, and I try to vary the words each day, so try not to write one thing that I'm grateful for that I was also grateful for yesterday. I try to vary those, as well as the fonts that I write them in. I'm finishing off my gratitude log with this idea light bulb in the bottom corner, and I'm writing my headers in on the expenses log because I forgot to do that before I started my gratitude log, and those are these spreads completed. This is my 2 lines a day spread that I use to journal and memory keep each day, and I really love it because it doesn't require me to write a ton about what happened every single day, but I'm still getting to write about each day in a way that's quick and it works for me. I'm not entirely sure where I got inspiration for my 2 lines a day spread from, but I know Art and Foxes uses 2 lines a day as well as PH Doodling on YouTube. But in terms of setting up this spread, I just did lines for each day in rainbow order, and I only did every other line because sometimes I find that highlighting every line looks a little cluttered, so I just wanted to keep it simple. I have the numbers of each day of the month down the left side of each page, and for doodles I included this paper airplane going off the calligraphy at the top, and at the bottom I have a border of some random school supplies like crayons, pencils, a glue stick, some scissors, and a ruler, and that kind of stuff. I'm just using my 02 micron to outline everything, and then my 6 Crayola Super Tips to color them in. I actually think I bring in my 992 Tombow dual brush pen to do the pencil tips, but otherwise everything else is the Crayola Super Tips. The last spread I'm doing in this Plan With Me video is my monthly review, which I do at the end of each month, and I originally got this idea from Planning with Kay back in the day, and it's definitely completely evolved to fit my needs. I love how I wrote August in the rainbow calligraphy at the top to stand out over the rest of the black calligraphy headers. So for my memory section, I have space to write my best memory of the month, as well as extra highlights and a place to put a Polaroid picture from my Instax printer that I just print right off my phone. The bottom left side is my future section where I write one thing I'm excited for about the next month and one thing I'm nervous about for the next month. And actually in my July one, it was the same thing on both sides, which was my new job. The right spread is dedicated to my favorites of the month in categories like movies, TV shows, YouTube, books, songs, food, and miscellaneous. At the bottom of the right page, I thought it would be fun to showcase the Crayola Super Tips I've been using throughout this spread to keep the color palette and kind of the back to school / school supplies theme going. And then I pretty much just finish off this spread by coloring in and writing in headers of each box. Now is when I usually do my final flip through portion of the video, but I actually wanted to go back and add some things to some of the prior spreads. And I'm starting by writing my habit tracker headers, which are wake up at 6 a.m., make my bed, walk / work out, productive, wash hair, floss, read, no snacking, and lesson planning. Then I played around with some of my black and white grid washi tape, and I've been trying to get myself to use more washi tape lately, so I thought these grid patterns would go really well with the school supplies doodles throughout this month. So I end up putting some washi on my anxiety tracker spread, as well as my cover page and my quote page. So I felt like my anxiety tracker spread was still missing something in this huge blank space at the top, so I ended up adding some dot grid craft paper from my Archer and Olive notepad, and I think it looks okay. I really wish I had put the crayon box in the middle after I realized I wanted the header on the box instead of on the top of the page, but I really didn't want to erase everything and pencil it in again, so this is what I opted for instead. Now we are getting into the final flip through portion of today's video, and I want to encourage you all to comment down below what your favorite spread was from this plan with me, as well as what your August monthly theme is in your bullet journal. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe while you're here. Also, don't forget to check out my bullet journal Instagram at Creative Minds Coffee Grinds for more bullet journal content like this. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!